Just recently, I think a week and a half or so ago, Elon Musk was in with the cabinet wearing a hat that said Trump was right about everything. So this does feel like a shift. I think it would be wrong to say, oh, Elon is out. He's outside the circle of influence or something like that. Whatever happens, however long Elon Musk runs Doge, he is going to stay close to Donald Trump, I would predict, for a long time because there are mutual interests here. Trump is going to want that for the midterm, and Republicans are going to need that. That said, there's sort of two forces at play. One is Republicans took a pretty bad loss in Wisconsin last week. Elon Musk played in a big way, donating probably more than $20 million all told, maybe even more than that. We don't know the exact number yet, to promote this conservative judge in a state Supreme Court race. The candidate supported by Musk and Donald Trump lost by a wide margin. So that kind of calls attention to the political risks. And the second thing here is that Musk and Trump do have, differences on trade policy. Elon Musk runs a globally integrated company with a huge presence in China. Donald Trump ran as the tariff guy and has, just for laughs, sometimes insults China. So there is a divergence here. And I think we're seeing that divergence both for political reasons as well as economic ones.
Why isn't he saying President Trump, you're a moron? Or why isn't he saying President Trump, you're dumber than a sack of bricks? Why is he picking Navarro when everyone says, and this is not me speaking, but it's just everyone says that ultimately the tariff policy comes down to what President Trump wants?
Well, if he did that would, that would probably cross the line for Trump, right? Okay. It's one thing to criticize an advisor. I think there's been a lot of reporting on this. Trump seems to like having, conflict within his inner circle. There's kind of a reality, you got to remember he ran a reality show for a very long time, or started a reality show for a very long time. He likes that kind of feeling. This is, in a sense, right, great content. I also think, Musk is picking on Navarro because Navarro went on, I believe it was CNBC, and described Tesla as an assembler rather than a manufacturer, which if you know about anything about Elon Musk, that is like the worst insult you could deploy against. Genuinely, I think he was hurt or angry, and he is reacting to it. So, and of course, also Tesla has this is gonna cost Tesla money is the other thing.
Does Elon have enough sway over President Trump to move the needle when it comes to this policy?
We had a long discussion about this for the episode of Elon Inc. that's going to hit in a couple of hours, the podcast that Bloomberg hosts about Elon Musk. And, it's not clear. It seems like Musk's influence within Trump world is pretty bad. He's talking to Trump all the time. So he can obviously walk in or call Trump pretty much whenever he wants. That said, it seems like he's been involved in the Doge part of this, the cost cutting, remaking government, as well as kind of some of the political pageantry around Donald Trump, and that folks like Navarro are really in the inner circle on tariffs. And Nancy Cook, our colleague on the podcast, pointed out, give you a little sneak preview, pointed out that attacking Navarro, I mean, he is one of Trump's, one of the people in the inner circle. This is a real shots fired across the administration. We have two very trusted advisors going at it, as you said, Carol, in public.
I mean, it's like your favorite kids, right? Sorry, Eric and Don Jr., but it's like your favorite kids kind of going at it, right? And so I just trying to understand the optics of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think the other thing that's happening is that when Elon Musk was backing Donald Trump, and especially in that period after the election, Tesla was looking very strong. The stock went up. A lot. He was really on top of the world, and maybe he felt like he could afford to take a hit to his margin, to have to deal with the inevitable price increases that this is going to lead to. But what we've seen in recent months is really serious demand challenges. It seems like demand for Tesla has fallen way down. This company is just not as healthy as it was a few months ago, and I think that may also be pushing Musk to push back more strongly than he otherwise would have if he were feeling, more confident in his position business-wise.
I mean, there's a fundamental disagreement in terms of what Peter Navarro thinks and what Elon Musk thinks. I mean, there was the Milton Friedman video that Elon tweeted in the last couple of days talking about free trade and who works on a pencil. And I guess the question I have is this enough to push Elon away from this universe? Because, he's said a lot of positive things about President Trump in the last few months, loves him, supports him, everything Trump has done is right. But this is a really big deal. And this seems like something that the president is digging his heels in on.
Yeah, I don't think he's crossed a line yet in this kind of back and forth with Navarro. And I continue to think, just because Trump has a lot to gain from maintaining this alliance, Elon Musk could donate another $300 million in the midterm.
But he might not be useful to Elon.
$300 million is going to be useful. But the question is, what does it mean for Elon?
Exactly.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
This might no longer be useful to Elon if he's not getting what he wants.
That is what's worth paying attention. Like, if you want to see what's going to happen with Elon Musk and Donald Trump, the thing I would be looking at is the Tesla stock price and how well does that hold up. It's been a bad couple of days. I think it was up earlier today. It's down a little bit last I checked.
It's down 43% this year, and it's right now down about 1.5%.
I think that is the thing. If Tesla is really in trouble, that is the thing that could push Elon Musk away.